Russian missile attack on Kharkiv leaves 7 dead and dozens injured. In a devastating missile attack, at least 7 people were killed and dozens more injured in Kharkiv, Ukraine's second-largest city. The city, home to approximately 1 million people, bore the brunt of the Russian assault. The violence escalated as Russian forces launched a cross-border ground offensive in the Kharkiv region on May 10th. Governor Ola Syniehubov reported that nearly 11,000 residents were forced to flee their homes due to the ongoing conflict. Vyacheslav Gladkov, the governor of Russia's Belgorod region, confirmed that a woman lost her life when a Ukrainian drone crashed into her house. The Russian Ministry of Defense disclosed that they had successfully downed 35 Ukrainian rockets and 3 drones over the Belgorod region, which lies adjacent to Kharkiv. Meanwhile, Russia claimed to have recaptured the small village of Andrivka in Ukraine's eastern Donetsk region. However, the Ukrainian General Staff countered this claim, stating that their troops were actively repelling 3 Russian assaults in the Andrivka and nearby Novyi areas. Notably, Ukrainian soldiers had liberated Andrivka during an offensive last September. In the Russia-annexed Crimea Peninsula, Sergei Aksionov, the head of the region, reported 2 fatalities resulting from a Ukrainian missile attack near Simferopol, the peninsula's main administrative center. Ukraine has not officially commented on this alleged attack. It's important to recall that Russia invaded and annexed Crimea from Ukraine in 2014. Further afield, Russia downed a Ukrainian drone in its central Tatarstan region, hundreds of kilometers away from the shared border. Amidst these military developments, Lieutenant General Vadim Shamarin, deputy head of Russia's general staff, and another high-ranking defense official were arrested on corruption and abuse of power charges. The 2 are currently in custody pending trial, as part of a broader crackdown on corruption within military contracts. Russian President Vladimir Putin arrived in Belarus, Moscow's closest ally, for talks with President Alexander Lukashenko. The discussions are expected to focus on security matters and military exercises involving tactical nuclear weapons. In a significant move, Putin signed a decree allowing the confiscation of assets within Russia belonging to the United States, its citizens, and companies. This measure is intended as compensation for Western sanctions against Moscow. Domestically, Russia sentenced 36-year-old barman Vladimir Malina to 25 years in prison. His crime? Joining a unit of Russians fighting for Ukraine and carrying out sabotage of railway equipment. Similarly, 20-year-old student Vladimir Belkovich, hailing from Siberia's Irkutsk region, received a 13-year prison sentence for treason. His offense involved distributing leaflets on behalf of a pro-Ukraine partisan group. On a more hopeful note, 13 Ukrainian children returned home from Russia and Russian-occupied territories with the cooperation of Qatar. However, Ukrainian officials assert that approximately 20,000 Ukrainian children have been sent to Russia without the consent of their families or guardians. In a concerning development, OVD Info, a prominent Russian rights group and protest monitoring network, received a notice from YouTube threatening to block access in Russia to one of its video channels featuring news on the war in Ukraine. Ukraine's Foreign Minister, Dmytro Kuleba, urgently appealed to Western allies to send 7 Patriot air defense systems. His plea emphasized the immediate need for these systems to bolster Ukraine's defenses. Meanwhile, the United States is preparing a new $275 million military aid package for Ukraine. This comprehensive package includes high-mobility artillery rocket systems, HIMARS, 155mm and 105mm high-demand artillery rounds, Javelin anti-tank systems, AT-4 anti-tank weapons, anti-tank mines, tactical vehicles, and small arms. Despite these efforts, Russian jamming has hindered many of Ukraine's relatively new long-range glide bombs from hitting their intended targets, according to Reuters, citing sources familiar with the challenges. The situation remains tense, with global attention focused on the unfolding conflict in Ukraine.